What if we told you that the future of South Africa's automotive industry isn't German, isn't American, but Chinese, and that it's arriving not with the roar of combustion engines, but the silent hum of electric motors? For over a century, the roads of South Africa were defined by the mechanical precision of Europe and the marketing power of the West. But that era is ending. In its place, a quiet but powerful revolution led by China. Through affordable electric vehicles, government backed investments, and strategic industrial expansion, this isn't just a market shift. This is a reshaping of the automotive and industrial DNA of South Africa. Stick with us as we explore how Chinese EVs are changing not just what South Africans drive, but how entire economies might be wired in the years to come. And before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into global market shifts and geopolitical transformations. The collapse of Western dominance on South African roads. For decades, South African highways echoed with the legacies of Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and Toyota. These were more than cars. They were symbols of success, aspiration, and quality. But something remarkable has happened in just the past 5 years. Chinese brands like Chery, Haval, and Omoda, names barely known in South Africa a few years ago, are now outselling legacy Western brands. According to Standard Bank, 36% of vehicle loans now finance Chinese brands. Just 5 years ago, that figure was fiver. The Haval H6, an SUV from Great Wall Motors, outsold the popular Volkswagen Tiguan by nearly 2 to 1. These aren't just numbers. They are signs of a foundational economic shift driven by price, perception, and new engineering philosophies. Why Chinese cars are winning in South Africa. The key to Chinese success lies in flipping the traditional car sales model on its head. While Western automakers advertise stripped-down models with base prices, Chinese brands offer fully loaded vehicles, panoramic sunroofs, heated leather seats, adaptive cruise control, all included at a price often half that of a European equivalent. This isn't just about affordability. It's about status. South Africans, like many across the globe, are status-conscious consumers. Chinese automakers have strategically filled the gap between desire and budget, offering luxurious aesthetics without the luxury price tag. At a time when South African families are battling rising costs across all essentials, electricity, food, and housing, Chinese vehicles provide a new kind of financial freedom. They democratize mobility. But at what cost? The hidden cost: local jobs versus imported affordability. However, there's a darker, less visible dimension to this automotive revolution. Traditional automakers like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Ford, Toyota, Isuzu, and Volkswagen don't just sell in South Africa, they manufacture there. Plants in Eastern Cape, Gauteng, and KwaZulu-Natal provide over 110,000 direct jobs and support another 350,000 in the broader supply chain. These operations have historically supported the local economy through both export markets and domestic demand. But here's the twist. While these established players invest in local production, Chinese automakers are bypassing the system altogether. Most Chinese EVs and hybrids arrive fully assembled, disrupting South Africa's industrial ecosystem. For every 10,000 Chinese imports, South Africa potentially loses 50 manufacturing jobs and up to 150 supply chain positions. This isn't just about cars. It's about factories, livelihoods, and long-term sovereignty. The EV factor: engineering the future. What makes this story even more powerful is how it intersects with the global shift toward electric vehicles, EVs. South Africa's EV infrastructure is still in its infancy, but local production has already begun, albeit cautiously. BMW's Rosslyn plant now manufactures the plug-in hybrid BMW X3 xDrive 30e for local and export markets. Ford is preparing its Silverton facility for the Ranger PHEV. Mercedes-Benz is producing the C-Class plug-in hybrid in East London, and Toyota has launched hybrid production of the Corolla Cross in Durban. Yet, despite these strides, fully electric vehicles, or BEVs, remain largely imported, and Chinese brands are moving fast to fill the gap. Companies like BYD and GWM are not just entering the market, they're shaping it. BYD's Dolphin and GWM's Aura are already making waves for being feature-rich yet affordable, precisely what South African consumers are looking for. Which firms are dominating the EV battle in South Africa? In 2025, the EV battlefield in South Africa looks like this. Legacy brands such as BMW, Volvo, and Mercedes-Benz still hold significant market share, especially in the premium segment. But Chinese firms are closing in, and fast. Volvo's X30 was the best-selling EV in 2024, proving that affordability with quality matters. But now, BYD's Dolphin is quickly becoming a household name, thanks to its attractive pricing and impressive features. GWM, through its Aura model, is also establishing a strong foothold. And it's not just about sales, it's about distribution and presence. BYD is on track to expand its dealership network to 30-plus locations by the end of 2026. Local importers like Enviro Automotive and Maxus South Africa are bringing in a wave of Chinese EVs for both personal and commercial use. Brands like Chery are pushing plug-in hybrids to bridge the infrastructure gap, meeting South African drivers where they are, not where Europe expects them to be. Chinese EV manufacturers are planting roots in South Africa. Chinese EV brands are no longer just selling cars in South Africa, they're gearing up to build them locally and deepen their presence. Chery, responsible for Omoda, JQ, and the upcoming iCar line, is moving beyond imports. It completed a feasibility study by mid-2025 for a local assembly plant and already operates a parts warehouse in Boksburg, Gauteng. That move signals serious intent to embed itself industrially, not just commercially. Meanwhile, BYD, the world's largest battery EV producer, known for models like the Dolphin, Auto 3, and Seal, entered the South African market in 2023 and has been in active discussions with the government since then to establish a production facility, though no factory has been built as of mid-2025. Great Wall Motor, GWM, parent company to brands like Hevel and Aura, is also eyeing local assembly. While historically reliant on cost-effective imports, its South African leadership says economies of scale have now made local CKD, knockdown, assembly a viable option within the next 12 months. Additionally, nearly half of the 14 Chinese brands active in South Africa launched in just the past year, with other players such as Dongfeng, Changan, Leap Motor, and Daiyun poised to enter soon. What this means on the ground: South Africa is evolving from a Chinese EV sales market into a potential regional production hub. Feasibility studies are underway, warehouses are being built, and government talks are progressing, all indicating the maturation of local EV manufacturing initiatives, state-backed power, and the Belt and Road influence. What makes Chinese automotive success so difficult to compete with is the backing behind it. Unlike Western brands beholden to quarterly profits and shareholder pressure, Chinese manufacturers often operate with state support as part of China's wider geopolitical strategy, the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. The BRI is not just about roads and ports. It's about embedding Chinese companies into the economic fabric of emerging markets. Auto manufacturing and EV sales are merely one piece of the puzzle. China is building telecommunications networks via Huawei, funding railways and ports, and increasingly influencing banking, education, and media. So, when a Chinese EV rolls off the showroom floor in Johannesburg, it isn't just a sale. It's a statement of growing Chinese influence in Africa. What lies ahead? Engineering sovereignty or subservience? So, where does this road lead? In the best case scenario, Africa uses the competition between China and the West to forge a new industrial path, one that includes foreign investment but demands local production, skill development, and ownership. In the worst case scenario, the continent trades one form of economic dependence for another, swapping European monopolies for Chinese ones. The EV revolution offers a once-in-a-generation opportunity to engineer a new future, but it requires intentional policy, strategic investments, and a commitment to local empowerment over foreign convenience. South Africa's automotive landscape is no longer a battlefield of brands. It's a mirror reflecting global power shifts, economic priorities, and national identities. Chinese engineering, backed by state strategy, has rewritten the rules. The question is no longer, what will South Africans drive, but who will own the engines of the future? This is the geopolitical factors shaping Africa. If you believe Africa's future should be built on sovereignty, not shortcuts, then share your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button. Because what's driving South Africa today will shape the entire continent tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Until next time, this has been Kimlud Media.